my channel. So today I'm going to go through all of my primers as part of my ranking series where I am going through all the makeup in my collection and ranking them from least favorite to favorite. I don't know the order that I'm releasing these videos, so I don't know which part this is, but obviously when I upload it you will see. And then if you want to see any of the other videos, they will be down in my description. So yeah, we're doing primers. I do have a few SPF which I kind of consider primers, but I also don't. So I'm going to talk about them very, very briefly. I'm not going to be ranking them. And then I have everything else that I'm ranking. Okay, so I do have these two, which I do keep with my primers, and I can't recall, I might have counted them when I did my primer inventory, but they're definitely not necessarily primers. They're more SPFs, but you can kind of obviously use them as primers. So they're the Garnier Vitamin Daily UV that kind of went crazy last year. I picked two of them up. I have the Glow one and the Invisible one, and I really didn't get too much use out of them last summer. And I'm hoping that they're still okay for this year, but I do have them, and I'm hoping that the weather will improve over the next few weeks or months and I can get some color back into my life, and I will need these a little bit more, but obviously you need to use SPF every single day. What I have been using right now is this one. So this one I just started using. This is the Centella or Madagascar Centella Silky Fit Sunstick. This is from Skin. It is a Korean brand, and I do have a link down below. It's affiliated, but if you want to check it out, you can. The reason I'm using that one is because I just finished this one this month. This is something that I've been using on and off for quite a while. This is Vitamin C Brightening Sun Serum from Common Lab. So I finally finished this one. This was really nice. Very, very serum-y, and so that's why I've been using this one. These two I feel like I'm just going to save for when the sun is actually out. But right now for the winter, I think this is fine. It's SPF what? Oh, this is SPF 52. I thought this was lower. So these are all SPF 50s. All right, let's get into the actual ranking of the video. I was going to split this out into types of primers because there's definitely more glowy ones, and then there's moisturizing ones, there's serum ones, thick ones, sticky ones, and all the jazz. But I have actually just done it in the order that I like them. And this, I think, is kind of true, but you know, it just changed over time. I have to say there's not one primer here that I don't like. So again, that's great, right? I mean, I like the makeup that I have. So I think the first one here, this is my least favorite. And this is actually a serum, but I kind of use it as a face primer, you know, depending on when I want to, because I think it's a little thick for a serum to do as my actual everyday daycare, like skincare, daycare. So this is the Essence Hello Good Stuff Pore Minimizing Serum with pomegranate and 3% niacinamide. Now, the reason I keep it with my primer is because obviously it's pore minimizing. I have quite a lot of pores around my T-zone. So I just figured, well, you know what? I mean, if I'm going to use it, it's going to make sense for me to use as a primer. So I have this here. It is serum-y, it's thick, and it does blend into the skin. It's fine, but it's not something that I would recommend you buying, nor would I go out and buy again. Okay, this next one I'm putting here because I don't know how to use it or what the point of it is. This is Embryolo's very, very expensive brand, and this is Swan Blush Depot. So this has like an apricot. This is the Apricot Glow, and it has a little bit of a tint to it. And I can't for the life of me understand what this is supposed to do. I'm assuming it gives you a glow on your skin, but compared to my other primers, I don't see the benefit of this. I don't see the reason why you would spend that extra money to just pay for the brand. And that's about it. I have tried Embryolo's before. I've tried their Lay cream, which is so beautiful, but it's so expensive. Like if I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna get the big tube, and that's just so overpriced. So I don't want to, but I have tried it before and it was so beautiful. But yeah, this one, I don't really understand it. Okay, and then I did pick this up last year. This is the NYX Freezy Face. This is such a weird one, and this is the only type of primer that I have in my collection of this type. It is very cooling. It is very much a gel. You put it on and it's very thick. I've hardly used anything because you don't need to use a lot. I like the fact that it's really, really cooling on the skin, but I also don't understand what this is supposed to be doing other than cooling your face. I think this probably would be really good if you have a lot of blemishes or if you have rosacea or anything like that. I can see the benefit of that for this product, but otherwise for me, I don't know what it's supposed to do for my skin. So I have it, I've used it, but every time I use it, I'm like, why am I using this? So it's just a primer where I'm like, what's the point? Okay, next up is this one. Now this I do like, but it's not an item that I use all the time. So this is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And you can see, I do like this item. Like every time I use it, I do like it. It's not something that I wouldn't, recommend, because I think it is really good if you have pores. I've also already gone through this before, and this is I went through the mini one. So the mini one was very small, but I liked it so much I bought this version of it, and I had another version of it many years ago when they had them in the tubes. So I've always liked the e.l.f. Putty Primer. I think it's been a good product, but in terms of my overall satisfaction of all my primers, it kind of sits here, which is pretty low. Okay, then we have the What's Up Beauty Positivity Primer. This came out last summer. They kindly sent this to me, and honestly, it's not a diss for me to rate it here at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with this primer, but I also don't think it stands out to any of the other primers that I have in my collection, and that's just an honest review. All right, then I have my Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1 Glow. I've used a lot of it, as you can see. I don't know what this is for. I mean, this is a 4-in-1. So it says it's a concealer, it's a primer, it's a highlighter, it's a BB cream. What is it? So I don't use it as a concealer. There's no way you can use this as a concealer. For one thing, it's pretty glittery. I don't see how you could. I have used it as more of a primer. Not so much a highlighter. I don't think it really gives that like highlighting glow. But as a primer, like all over the face, it does give some sort of glow. And as a BB cream, I think, yeah, sure, why not? But sometimes there's no pigment. I put it on my face and I don't see anything. So this is a weird one. I don't think I would buy it again. Although I am ranking it here. Like I'm not ranking it at the bottom, because I do think like the consistency is nice. I think it looks pretty on the skin. But I also feel like at the end of the day, what's the point? All right, moving on, we have this one. This is slightly newer for me. So I don't really know where to rate this one. This is Technique Vitamin C Brightening Primer. This is quite illuminating, and this is actually tinted, which I didn't realize when I bought it. And I quite like that it's a little bit tinted, not to a point where you can just put this, I mean, you could just put this on the skin and not put foundation on if you wanted to go for a no foundation look, which is absolutely fine. But for me personally, I wouldn't just wear this and then nothing else. But I do think maybe in the summertime it might make a little bit more sense, and I have actually enjoyed it. So I haven't used it a huge amount, so I'm kind of rating it a little bit lower. Maybe it'll move up, maybe it'll move down. That's kind of where it sits right now. And then we have my Nabla. This is the Angel Aura Radiant Plumping Serum Primer. It's a long name. This is actually also quite an expensive item. I have used up to here. I've had this for a while, but it's still beautiful, and it is actually really pretty. It's a really pretty primer. I don't know if you're gonna see it because it does sheer out, but it's glowy. We're getting into my glowy ones right now, but this is pretty, and you can see it's pretty. It's pretty serumy. It's pretty serumy. Yeah, I don't have any other words for it, but I do think this is really pretty. I think the reason I'm ranking it here is because I think for the price, you could probably get something a little bit better, and it's okay. I mean, I do like it. I can't deny that. Okay, next up we have the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I do use this as a primer. Some people use it as more like the illuminating glow or highlighter. I use it as a primer. I think it's nice. It's very overpriced. You can get the dupes, and the dupes aren't the same, but they work very similar to it. So obviously I'm going to rank it here. It's kind of middle of the road. It's definitely not my favorite primer, but I do like it, and I have really enjoyed using it over the time that I've had it, and it's actually pretty old now, so I should try to finish it. But a little goes a long way for this item, so it's kind of worth the money in that respect, because you don't really go through it super fast. And then this is a new one. This is actually from Glamshop. This is a surprise to me because I bought this in December. I tried it and I was like, you know what, it's not like the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is the Elicure. I think the reason that I like this one a little bit more than the Charlotte Tilbury one is it's a little less thick. So they do have a similar vibe to them. I wouldn't say it's an absolute dupe of it at all. It's a lot more liquidy, and I do enjoy that. It's more serumy and it blends into the face a little bit more. It's also quite a bit less glowy than the Charlotte Tilbury one, which I think sometimes can be a little too much sometimes. So, you know, it's just what I prefer. And I've been actually enjoying this month, and I think that's why I'm ranking it here, because I have a good opinion of it right now because it's in my Shop My Stash. All right, these next two I'm ranking together because I don't know where else to put them, and I feel like they are the same item. So I have these two. I got this one. This is the Skinderella from Gloss Gods. It is a moisturizing primer. It's the Secret Potion Priming Lotion. It's a soothing and calming priming mask. And this one is the Revolution Hydra Base, and this is a cream to water hydrating primer. They are very, 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 very similar to each other. They are just like face creams. They do blend into the skin really well. They're not super greasy, but they, you know, they're more of like the skincare type of primer out there. And they kind of do the same thing and have the same result. And they smell both nice. So I couldn't rank one over the other. I have had this one a slightly longer, but to be fair, I feel like they do the same thing. So I'm going to rank them both together because I do actually like moisturizing primers. I don't consider them skincare items because I don't think they're really doing much for my face other than adding further moisture to my skin whenever it's dry. So I do enjoy that aspect of having these types of moisturizing primers, but I couldn't tell you which one I prefer. All right, then we have the NYX Marshmallow. This is nice. I picked this up last year and I didn't really have a strong opinion about it at all. And then I did use it for my Shop My Stash. I think it was last month, whatever, one of these months. And I was really enjoying it. And I thought, you know what, this is actually quite nice. It has it's not a pore minimizing primer, but I feel like it smoothed the skin quite nicely. So I do think it made changes to my skin texture. Like everything looked a little bit smoother, even though it doesn't really say that it's supposed to do that. So I don't know. I like the foam consistency. I'm going to do a little bit. It is kind of like a marshmallow consistency. It's like mousse in a way, but like a thicker type of mousse. And I don't know, I kind of liked that. It's just a weird, I don't have any of the primer that's like that. And maybe people wouldn't like that, but I love it. But I actually really like it, and it smells divine. Like, I can't deny it smells amazing, so I don't mind putting that on my face. All right, next up we have the Primark dupe of the Bobbi Brown Face Enriched Primer. So this one I do enjoy actually a little bit better than those other two moisturizers, so I'm going to put it here. This one is very, very inexpensive. I actually got this for £2. They had it on sale. I think they still have this in store. But this one, the consistency of this is a little bit different to the other two. It's a little bit thicker in terms of like, it's like more, not jellified, but it's thicker in the pot, but then when you actually blend it on the skin, it is really thin and lovely and moisturizing. And it doesn't feel, I didn't say the other two were oily, but you could get, if you put too much on the skin, I think you could get to the point where it felt a little bit greasy. And I feel like this one doesn't go like that at all. So I think it's quite silicone-y. There must be something, or it's got shea butter in it. It's got oat oil, shea butter. And I don't know, it's also got vitamin C and niacinamide. Oh, go Primark. So I don't know, I actually really, really like this. And I think it is amazing. So yeah, normally it's £4.50. Maybe they've changed the price, but I got it for £2.50. So bargain. And I really, really enjoy this. And I have actually just finished my Bobbi Brown this month. So I think this is more of a dupe of the Bobbi Brown than those other two. They're just like moisturizing primers, but I think this is definitely the more of the consistency of Bobbi Brown. Because if you've ever tried that one, it's like thicker in the pot, but then it's not super thick on the face. There's something about it, and this is definitely beautiful. So Bobbi Brown is like 40 quid. This is £2 or £4, whatever it is now. I definitely would recommend trying this one. All right, then I have another NYX. This is the NYX Plump Right Back. I like this a lot. I actually haven't used it in a while because I realized I was going through it pretty fast, and I was like, hold on a minute, I don't want to go through that too fast. Not that this is an expensive item, but when I find an item that I enjoy, I kind of put the brakes on a little bit. I'm like, I don't want to finish this too fast. I actually really like this. Is more serum based primer, and I think I like serum based primers, even though I've just spoken about some moisturizers and, you know, whatever. I like moisturizing primers and serum based. I think anything that's sticky and tacky, you'll notice I don't have any of them because I really hate them. I hate those sticky tacky primers that everybody seems to love. I can't stand them. So definitely anything that is more serumy and I guess more skincare like or shiny is my go-to. And then my favorite has to be the iconic London. I've talked about this a bunch of times. I think it's so beautiful on the skin. So this is the Underglow Blurring Primer, and I do think it does have a blurring effect. I think it's really beautiful, and it has a really interesting feel to it. Like after you put it on, your skin feels quite soft. I don't know, maybe there must be silicone in this one, I don't really know, but it is quite liquidy, so I don't know how they do it, but this is really, really beautiful. It looks like it's pigmented, but it's not. When you put it on the skin, it blends into nothing, and it's actually just really, really lovely. So highly recommend this one. I do think it is my favorite primer, but I don't use it all the time, so obviously I have a lot of other primers. I think that's everything. There might be some that I missed, I'm not sure. I'm looking, and I think that is everything. So yeah, those are my primers and I've ranked them. What do you think? Do you like any of these? Do you hate them? I know primers are pretty divisive. People hate them, they love them, and there's definitely ones that are better than others. And it's also just all about preference. Like I don't like those sticky tacky ones that a lot of people do enjoy. So anyway, thank you. Hope you enjoy the video and I will see you next time. Bye.